Have you ever truly considered the silence, not the absence of sound, but the quiet hum of being utterly, completely alone? For many, this thought evokes a shiver, a deep-seated discomfort. We live in a world that often tells us our worth is measured by our connections, by the number of people around us, by the constant validation we seek from others. We are conditioned to believe that being alone is a sign of weakness, of being unloved, or even of failure. But what if this deeply ingrained fear is nothing more than an illusion? What if the very thing you've been taught to dread holds the key to your most profound power, your truest freedom? For centuries, within the ancient disciplines, we have understood a truth that defies modern convention. The strongest beings are not those who are constantly surrounded, but those who have mastered the art of profound self-reliance. They are the ones who have looked into the heart of solitude and found not emptiness, but an infinite wellspring of strength. Today, I will share with you why the strongest women never fear being alone. This is a journey to reclaim your inherent completeness, to forge an inner world so rich and stable that external company becomes a choice, not a necessity. Let us first confront the ghost in the room, the pervasive fear of being alone. This fear is a deeply societal construct, woven into the fabric of our upbringing, from fairy tales that promise happiness only with a prince charming, to media that celebrates constant social interaction. We are subtly, yet powerfully taught that our completeness relies on another person. The single woman is often portrayed as incomplete, searching, or even pitiable. This constant external narrative whispers to us, "You are not enough on your own." This societal pressure creates an uncomfortable paradox. We crave genuine connection, yet our fear of being alone often pushes us into relationships or situations that are less than fulfilling, simply to avoid the perceived void. We fill our calendars, our minds, our lives with noise, anything to avoid the quiet confrontation with ourselves. But what is it, truly, that we fear in this solitude? Is it the silence? Is it the raw, unvarnished truth about ourselves that might emerge without the distractions of others? In the Shaolin tradition, we learn that true power begins with self-confrontation. It is in the quiet moments, away from the world's demands, that we can truly hear our own inner voice, discern our authentic desires from learned expectations, and recognize the immense strength that resides within. The fear of being alone is often not a fear of emptiness, but a fear of the powerful self that might emerge when there are no external mirrors to reflect back who you should be. It's a fear of your own untamed potential, your own vast inner landscape that you haven't yet explored. Consider this profound truth. The quality of your relationships with others is a direct reflection of the quality of your relationship with yourself. If you cannot find peace, joy, and completeness in your own company, how can you truly offer it authentically to another, or genuinely receive it without neediness? The strongest women understand that their inner world is their primary residence, and they invest in its strength and beauty. They know that when you are fundamentally whole on your own, every connection you make is an expansion, not a desperate attempt to fill a void. This shifts the entire dynamic of your relationships from one of grasping and dependence to one of offering and true connection. It's about being so completely you that external validation becomes irrelevant. And if this resonates deep within you, if a spark ignites as you hear these words, then let that energy flow beyond yourself. A simple tap on the like button isn't just a click, it's a ripple. It's how we tell the universe and the algorithms that this message of inner freedom needs to touch more hearts, more minds. Let's make this wisdom spread like wildfire, reaching every woman who longs to find her own unshakable peace. Your small action here amplifies a powerful truth to the world. Having confronted the illusion of fearing solitude, let us now turn our attention to the true foundation of strength. Cultivating your inner sanctuary, your indestructible core, in a world that constantly pulls us outwards, seeking external validation, external happiness, and external solutions. The strongest women understand that their primary source of peace and power resides within. This inner sanctuary is not built with bricks and mortar, but with intention, awareness, and a deep commitment to self-reliance. Think of it this way: if your happiness is a fragile vase placed on the unstable ground of external circumstances, another person's mood, a job promotion, or societal approval, it is constantly at risk of shattering. But when you build your inner sanctuary, you are creating a bedrock, a solid foundation, where your peace resides, unshaken by the winds of change or the absence of others. This is a cornerstone of Shaolin philosophy. True mastery begins with, we dedicate years to quiet contemplation, to understanding the mechanics of our own minds, not to detach from the world, but to engage with it from a place of unshakable internal stability. When you know your own worth, when you are complete within yourself, the neediness for external things or people diminishes. This doesn't mean you stop connecting or loving. It means your connections become purer, built on shared joy, rather than desperate need. The process of cultivating this inner sanctuary involves stripping away the layers of external expectations and reconnecting with your authentic self. It's about discovering that you are inherently enough, without needing external validation to complete you. This journey requires courage, the courage to face your own thoughts, your own vulnerabilities, and to build a relationship with yourself that is rooted in acceptance and love. When you become your own primary source of fulfillment, you become unshakable. Here is a simple yet profound practice to begin building your inner sanctuary. Each morning, before the world demands your attention, take 5 minutes, close your eyes, imagine your body as a magnificent temple, strong and serene. Inside, at your very core, visualize a radiant light, bright, warm and comforting. This light is your inherent worth, your wisdom, your peace. It doesn't need anything external to exist. It simply is. Breathe into this light, allowing it to expand, filling every part of your being. Feel its warmth. This visualization, practiced consistently, helps to create a deep neural pathway in your brain that reinforces your sense of inner security and self-sufficiency. It's a psychological anchor, a reminder that your truest home is always within you, always available, always indestructible. This practice, similar to guided imagery often used in positive psychology, helps to foster a deeper connection to your innate resources, making you truly resilient. With our inner sanctuary being built, we can now step into an even deeper understanding of strength, the freedom of emotional sovereignty. For too long, many of us have been taught that love and connection mean a form of fusion, a merging where our happiness becomes intrinsically linked to another's presence, approval, or even mood. This, my dear friends, is not true connection. It is emotional dependence, and it is a subtle but powerful cage. True emotional sovereignty means that your well-being, your happiness, and your sense of completeness do not depend on external sources, not on a partner, not on a job, not on a friend, not even on societal validation. It means you are the sovereign ruler of your own emotional state. This allows for a deeper, more authentic connection with others, because you engage from a place of wholeness, not of neediness. When you fear being alone, you are prone to settling. You might stay in relationships that diminish you, cling to friendships that drain your energy, or accept situations that go against your deepest values, all to avoid the perceived emptiness of solitude. This is not strength, it is a profound act of self-betrayal. The strongest women refuse to compromise their inner peace for the sake of external company. They understand that a relationship born out of need is ultimately unsustainable and unfulfilling for both parties. The path to this sovereignty involves recognizing that your emotional well-being is your responsibility. It's about taking back the power you might have unconsciously given away. When you are emotionally sovereign, you are like a tree rooted deeply in the earth. You can sway with the winds, but you will not be uprooted. Your joy, your peace, your sense of worth are not contingent on external factors. They are generated from within. I recall the journey of Maria, a vibrant woman in her late 30s, a successful architect who for years defined herself solely through her romantic relationships. Each breakup left her utterly shattered, not just heartbroken, but truly lost, as if a vital part of her very identity had vanished. Her emotions after a separation were a tempest. Days of overwhelming sadness, waves of anxiety, and a deep, gnawing fear that she was fundamentally incomplete without a partner. She would rush into new relationships, accepting less than she deserved, simply to avoid the terrifying silence of her own company. When we began to work together on cultivating this emotional sovereignty, it was a gradual, often challenging process. It started with small, deliberate acts, spending an hour each day in true solitude, exploring hobbies she'd abandoned, journaling to hear her own inner voice, I encouraged her to visualize her inner self as a magnificent, self-sufficient garden, capable of blooming regardless of who visited it. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, Maria began to discover the richness within. She found joy in her own projects, peace in her own thoughts, and a quiet confidence that grew stronger with each passing day. The lost part, she realized, was not external. It was the vibrant, independent woman she had neglected for so long. As she nurtured her inner world, her fear of being alone vanished, replaced by a profound sense of peace and joy in her own company. And paradoxically, as she became more complete within herself, she began to attract relationships that were truly healthy, interdependent, and deeply fulfilling. Not because she needed them to complete her, but because she was already vibrant and whole on her own, ready to share her overflow. This transformation, from dependence to sovereignty, is a testament to the boundless power that lies within each of us, when we choose to reclaim it. Now, let us confront a word that often carries a heavy weight: loneliness. For many, being alone automatically equates to feeling lonely. But this is a crucial distinction we must make. Solitude is a choice. Loneliness is a feeling, and within the intentional choice of solitude lies a profound crucible, a transformative space where loneliness can be transmuted into unparalleled growth. The strongest women understand that the deepest lessons, the most profound insights, often emerge not from constant interaction, but from the quiet introspection that solitude demands. Think of the masters, the philosophers, the innovators throughout history. Many sought periods of isolation, not out of despair but out of a deliberate need to disconnect from external noise and reconnect with their innermost wisdom. It is in this space, free from distractions, that you are forced to confront your own thoughts, your own patterns, your own shadows. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, even painful at first, because it strips away the external masks we often wear. But it is precisely in this discomfort that true alchemy occurs. When you embrace solitude, you are giving yourself permission to process, to heal, to discover parts of yourself that are often suppressed in the constant presence of others. It is in these quiet moments that clarity emerges, creativity flourishes, and self-awareness deepens. You learn to listen to the whispers of your intuition, which are often drowned out by the clamor of the world. This is not about withdrawing from life. It is about withdrawing into yourself, so that when you return to the world, you do so with greater presence, purpose, and an unshakable sense of self. Here's a powerful way to transform moments of perceived loneliness into moments of profound growth. View your solitude as a personal retreat. Just as a Shaolin monk retreats to the mountains for meditation and self-discovery, you can create your own mini-retreats, even in your daily life. It could be 10 minutes of silent reflection over your morning tea, an hour walking in nature without your phone, or simply dedicating an evening to a personal passion project without external interference. During these retreats, intentionally ask yourself, what is my inner world trying to tell me right now? What do I truly need? What have I been avoiding? This deliberate act of turning inward, of using solitude as a tool for self-inquiry, transforms it from a scary void into a fertile ground for self-discovery. You are consciously taking control of your experience of being alone, shaping it into a powerful catalyst for your personal evolution. This practice helps you build a strong internal compass, making your journey less dependent on external validation and more guided by your own authentic wisdom. Building on the transformative power of solitude, let us now delve into cultivating your unshakable presence, the ability to be whole, regardless of company. This is a profound level of mastery, where your internal state of being is not dictated by who is around you, or even if anyone is around you at all. It's about becoming your own anchor, your own center of gravity, so that your peace and happiness are generated from within, rather than being borrowed from external relationships. Many of us unconsciously adjust our energy, our opinions, and even our very essence to fit into different social circles or to gain approval. We become chameleons, losing touch with our authentic selves in the process. This constant adaptation is exhausting and leaves us feeling fragmented. The strongest women, however, carry their own atmosphere. Their presence is rooted in a deep self-awareness and an unwavering sense of self-worth. They do not diminish their light to make others comfortable, nor do they seek external validation to shine brighter. They simply are. This means that whether you are alone in quiet contemplation or in the midst of a bustling crowd, your inner state remains largely undisturbed. Your joy is yours. Your purpose is yours. Your peace is yours. This doesn't make you aloof or distant. It makes your presence genuinely magnetic. People are drawn to authenticity and to the quiet strength that emanates from someone who is truly comfortable in their own skin, independent of external circumstances. This is the essence of what we cultivate in Shaolin, a mind that is so centered, so stable, that it can navigate any environment without losing its core integrity. Consider the story of Eleanor, a woman in her early 40s, a brilliant corporate lawyer who initially believed her worth was tied to her professional achievements and the high-profile social events she attended. Despite her outward success, she felt a constant underlying anxiety whenever she wasn't on or surrounded by people. Solitude felt like a void she had to fill. Through dedicated practice, she began to cultivate this unshakable presence. She started with conscious breathing exercises before client meetings, grounding herself in her own energy rather than trying to project what she thought others wanted. She dedicated time to walks in nature, not for exercise, but purely to connect with her own internal rhythm. Slowly, Eleanor transformed. Her colleagues noticed a new serenity, a quiet confidence that transcended her sharp intellect. She became less reactive to workplace dramas and more discerning in her social engagements. She realized her happiness wasn't dependent on the praise of senior partners or the buzz of a networking event. It was a wellspring within her. This shift allowed her to be fully present, whether alone or surrounded by people, radiating an authenticity that drew both respect and genuine connection. Her example shows that building an unshakable presence isn't about isolation, but about becoming so whole that your internal peace becomes your most powerful asset, effortlessly influencing your external world. Cultivating an unshakable presence is a continuous practice of returning to yourself, of anchoring your awareness in your inherent completeness. It is the ultimate expression of emotional mastery, allowing you to walk through the world with grace, confidence, and a profound sense of inner freedom, knowing that you are always truly enough. Having cultivated your unshakable presence and learned to find completeness within, you now discover a fascinating paradox: the magnetism of wholeness. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? When you no longer need external company to feel complete, that's precisely when you begin to attract the most authentic, profound, and enriching connections into your life. The fear of being alone often pushes us to cling, to compromise, to accept relationships born out of neediness or desperation. These connections, however, are rarely truly fulfilling. They are often transactional, riddled with unspoken expectations, and ultimately unsustainable. When you become whole on your own, your energy shifts. You radiate a quiet confidence, a serene self-sufficiency that acts like a powerful magnet. Toxic individuals, those who thrive on emotional drama or seek to exploit others' vulnerabilities, are naturally repelled by this wholeness. They are drawn to voids they can fill or insecurities they can manipulate. But a person who is complete within herself offers no such void. Instead, she offers genuine connection, shared joy, and a balanced exchange of energy. This is not about being arrogant or aloof. It is about understanding your inherent value and refusing to settle for anything less than connections that honor and elevate your spirit. The strongest women prioritize the quality of their relationships over the quantity. They understand that one truly authentic connection, built on mutual respect and shared values, is infinitely more enriching than a dozen superficial ones, driven by a fear of solitude. Your independence becomes the very foundation for true interdependence. You choose who you invite into your sanctuary, not out of fear, but out of genuine resonance. Here's a powerful way to visualize this magnetism. Imagine your internal energy as a frequency. When you operate from a place of fear, neediness, or incompleteness, you are broadcasting a certain frequency that attracts similar energies, often those who mirror your insecurities or seek to fill their own voids through you. But when you cultivate self-worth, emotional sovereignty, and inner peace, you shift your frequency to one of wholeness and abundance. You begin to broadcast a powerful, clear signal that attracts individuals operating on a similar, high vibration. This isn't magic, it's a fundamental principle of energetic alignment. Focus on becoming the person you want to attract. Invest in your own growth, your passions, your inner peace. The more you cultivate your own rich inner world, the more effortlessly you will draw authentic connections into your life. Connections that truly add to your already abundant existence, rather than attempting to complete a missing piece. This active self-development inherently changes what you project and consequently what you attract into your social and relational sphere. We have journeyed far, my dear friends, exploring the profound truth behind why the strongest women never fear being alone. We've peeled back the layers of societal conditioning, understanding that the fear of solitude is an illusion. We've discovered how to cultivate your inner sanctuary, your indestructible core, making your happiness and peace immune to external fluctuations. We've embraced the liberating freedom of emotional sovereignty, releasing the need for external validation. We've transmuted perceived loneliness into powerful growth through the crucible of solitude, and learned to embody your unshakable presence, being whole regardless of company. And we've seen how this wholeness creates the magnetism of authentic connections, attracting relationships that truly elevate you. This path is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about building an internal world so rich, so complete, that the absence of external company loses its sting. It is about understanding that true strength isn't about being surrounded. It's about being profoundly centered within yourself. When you embrace your solitary power, you shed the fear of loneliness, and in doing so you unlock a limitless form of freedom. This freedom allows you to choose your connections consciously, to pursue your passions without seeking permission, and to navigate every challenge with a profound sense of self-reliance. The strongest women do not fear being alone because they have cultivated an inner relationship so fulfilling, a personal foundation so solid, that external circumstances can only add to their joy, never diminish it. They have become their own best company, their own most reliable support system, and their own deepest source of wisdom. This is the ultimate self-mastery. This is the ultimate empowerment. So my question to you as we conclude this profound exploration is this. Now that you understand why the strongest women never fear being alone, what is one small, deliberate step you will take today to embrace your own solitary power? The key to this boundless freedom lies within your willingness to explore, to cultivate, and to trust your own inner sanctuary. Don't let this knowledge remain just information. Transform it into action. Transform it into lasting inner liberation. Share your commitment in the comments below. Tell us, how will you consciously practice embracing your own company today? Your commitment can illuminate the path for countless other women seeking their own journey to inner strength. If this message resonated deeply, subscribe to continue receiving these profound insights, and share it with other women who long to discover their own unshakable power. Remember, true freedom begins when you become whole, alone. Go forth and embody your limitless self.